Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. We're going to give you guys a review, a little bit different. This is the Ibanez Jem Junior electric guitar with a vine inlane, left-handed and in white. I've been looking for a white guitar, and I've also been looking at getting a Jem for quite a long time because I've watched a lot of YouTube videos like many of you and thought, wow, that thing sounds really good. You know, even the clean channels are sounding really good. Boy, can YouTube videos ever be deceptive. Um, yeah, anything but good. So here's my story. I went into Long and McQuaid today to try this baby out, hands-on, because I have a left-handed version in stock. And I thought, you know, initially, 800 bucks, that's a pretty good deal. You know, it's a Jem series. It's a little higher end, you know, so it's not a cheap Ibanez. It's got to be good. The videos all sound so good with it. Man, do people overprocess their stuff. When I do videos for you guys, I give it to you raw. Like, you're getting it from a camcorder with stereo mics in it. You're going to hear my room acoustics. You're going to hear the guitar for what it is, okay? And, well, as close as you're going to get anyways, because YouTube's still going to compress stuff. But you're going to get a more realistic hearing of gear when you watch my videos. So I got to thinking, I'm going to try this out. So I plugged her into a Marshall tube amp thinking, wow, hey, tube amps, right? Best amps out there, tube freaks. Anyways, no offense. I like tube amps too, some of them. But, so I plugged it in. I threw her on the distortion channel. I went through all the pickup selections. It is a 5-way switch after all, so you do have a lot of different combinations. You can use the 2 humbuckers and the single coil. And on distortion channel, it actually wasn't bad. I did have to crank the gain quite high in order to get some good crunchy distortion out of her. And it did seem to be not too shabby, even on the treble side. You know, when you're doing some string bendings and some, you know, a little bit of note licks, it seemed okay. It didn't seem too bad. And then I decided to try the clean channel. I probably shouldn't have, because that's where it all fell apart for this guitar. These pickups are so shrilly. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know it's a shredder's guitar, but come on, let's get serious. My Gretsch sounds 5 million times better, clean or dirty channel, than this thing does. And my Gretsch was actually cheaper than this. But Ibanez has never been well known for putting good pickups in their guitars, at least that I've been finding, although you never know. But it takes more than pickups to make a guitar. You need an amp too. And I've heard this thing on so many different amps, including Marshalls and Ibanez amps, and the list goes on. And I thought, well, maybe these guys aren't really processing or trying to hide stuff. But I'm starting to think maybe they were hiding quite a bit of things that they didn't tell us in the videos. Because this thing on the clean channel is the worst, and I mean the worst sounding guitar I have heard in my life. And you guys know I have owned a lot of guitars over the years. Even more than what you've ever seen on my channel I have owned. And let me tell you, out of every electric guitar that I've ever had in my collection, this thing is the worst guitar on the planet on the clean channel. It was so shrilly, I had to turn the treble on the guitar off. And I still had to reduce the treble control on the amp to about 9 o'clock position to lower it so that I could get rid of that chimey, squealing, ear-piercing, eardrum-destroying pitch of this thing. And it was just nasty all over the place. And I thought, man, can we not clean this up? And I tried every pickup combination on that switch on the clean side, and it just wouldn't clean up enough. I mean, these have got to be the worst garbagey pickups on the planet. Beautiful guitar, though. I mean, the action is nice and low. The jumbo frets are real jumbo frets. You know, the Floyd Rose on it, even though it's not a licensed one, is actually really decent. It's got good tuning stability to it. So I can't really fault it for that. The other problem I found with this guitar was the input jack. It's so far buried into the body, you are never going to hook up a wireless system to this unless you get an extension connector, which luckily I do have them. But you should not have to use something like that to use your typical wireless. And I'll guarantee you, you're not going to get a Boss wireless system to work with this thing without that adapter. In fact, most wireless systems out there on the market are not going to be a direct plug-in for this thing. It's not going to happen. You're going to need an adapter to lengthen it because they buried that stupid jack in so far. So your only other option is a cable, and cables, to me, they're dangerous. They break down more often. They cause more static and ground issues than you can shake a stick at. I hate cables, even though I still have some around and I do use them at times. Right now I'm kind of stuck using cables because my Boss wireless system is in getting the batteries replaced at Boss. So, hey, after a few years of using them every day, several times a day, hey, the batteries are going to take their toll. But on the good notes, what is this thing made out of? It has a Wizard 3 maple neck, whatever the heck that's supposed to mean. Let's just call it a maple neck that's comfy. Mahogany body, Jodoba fretboard with Tree of Life inlay. Well, it's not really the Tree of Life that we commonly know as a Tree of Life inlay on a guitar, but it is pretty cool nonetheless. Nice work on the inlays. Ibanez did a pretty good job. The frets are great. Jumbo frets, definitely. Good fret work on it. Couldn't have asked for nicer fret work. Double locking tremolo bridge, yep, we're right up there. The pickups, we have a quantum neck pickup, passive ceramic, a middle that's passive Alnico. I don't know what version of Alnico, but it sucks. The output is extremely weak and crummy in it. A passive ceramic quantum pickup as well in for the bridge. The color of the hardware is called Cosmo Black. How about we just stick with black, okay? Works for me. And of course it's a 25.5 scale with a 43 millimeter nut width. Now, like I said, the guitar itself is really cool. I really like it. But at $800, it is not worth that kind of money with those pathetically bad pickups. I would say this guitar is probably worth, they should be actually selling it without pickups for about $300. Because that's all the thing is worth. Because those pickups are horrible, and you're going to have to spend money to replace all three of them. They are just so horrifyingly shrilly on the clean channel. Distortion, you had to turn the gain up quite a lot to make the distortion actually sound really decent. But overall, they're garbage pickups. Worst ever in my life I've heard. And I've owned a lot of guitars with even cheap, and I mean super cheap, crummy pickups. Whether they were single coils or humbuckers, they still sounded 500 times better than these, and definitely not shrilly like these ones are. And humbuckers are not supposed to be that shrilly, but this was just horrifying, and you couldn't even really clean it up that well. So that's actually a very bad side to this guitar. So in all, I would give this guitar nothing more than a very gracious 3 out of 5. Okay, because we have bad pickups and we do have a crummy input jack system, which is a real crummy input jack system. It is very bad. I've played around on several Ibanez's. I've owned a few in the past that were actually way better than this thing as far as the pickups go. I have a student that's got a Ibanez guitar that is very similar in price range, his guitar is kind of the opposite way. It's got not bad pickups, but the rest of the guitar kind of questionable, but also a very heavy guitar. This thing's actually pretty lightweight. So they did do a good job overall. It's just too bad they couldn't put any decent pickups in. So that's my thoughts on this. So would I recommend buying it? Well, not at $800. No, Ibanez has to drop at least $300 or $400 off the price. Then it would be worth it, because you're going to definitely want to rip those pickups out and go and spend a few $100s on real pickups that actually sound like real good pickups. And then you would have a wonderful guitar at that point. But that's my theory on this thing. That's my findings. This is my review. I do apologize, guys, that I could not do a live review for you guys on this thing to show you just how shrilly and bad it is. But you can go test one out for yourself and, you know, decide on your own if you like that kind of eardrum piercing stuff. I personally do not like it, and I expect a clean channel to be clean, not enough to blow my ears out of my head. This is very, very bad, you know. And by the time you do get the shrill out, it sounds horribly dull, which is the other bad side effect. And just a small movement of the treble control on the amp or the guitar, and it's back to shrill. So this is just not something that many people are going to really get along with. You're definitely going to have to wear safety earplugs to be able to deal with that horrifying sound. But to each their own, I always say. So it's up to you. Do you want to spend your money on this because it's an Ibanez Jem with a monkey handle? Or do you want to actually save up some money and buy a real guitar? Not that the guitar, like I said, was the problem. The pickups are the biggest problem here with this thing. So Ibanez does have to go back, I think, and put some good pickups in for once. You know? But hey, there you go. That's what I got. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you got your feelings hurt because I bashed this thing, especially on the sound side of things, well, that's just too bad. I just tell it how it is because you guys know me. I'm honest and upfront, and I tell it how it is. And this is not something I would buy myself, not especially after trying it out myself. I thought, no way. This is just not something I can get with. This is just too nasty. So anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do stay tuned for more videos. We definitely have some music videos along the way coming for you guys. Actual music videos. And some other stuff. Maybe some gear stuff in the future. I don't know what's going on with that now. Some changes are going to definitely be being made around the studio. Yeah, so stay tuned for more, and we'll catch you in the next one. See ya.